The Dr. Grordbort weapons are some of the most infamous and awful weapons in Team Fortress 2. For those that don't know, these space-themed weapons were added in the Dr. Grordbort Victory Pack update and the 2011 Australian Christmas update, with the former adding the Cowmangler 5000 and the Righteous Bison for Soldier, and the latter adding the Pomson 6000 and Eureka effect for Engineer, as well as the Phlogistinator, Man-Melter, and 3rd Degree for Pyro. Starting with Soldier, I'll review these weapons individually and as part of a loadout. So for the Cowmangler, other than its retro-futuristic styling, the major gimmick is that it doesn't use traditional ammo. Instead, the Bison, Pomson, and Man-Melter have a charge meter. After they run out of charge, they need to be reloaded for free instead of using traditional reserve ammo. The Cowmangler also has a charge shot that uses all of its charge for one blast that mini crits and ignites players. The charge shot can also be used to disable buildings, though since it has an 80% damage penalty to them, it's basically useless in the face of just using a normal rocket launcher. At first I thought the charge shot was essentially useless, just slowing you down for a sniper or spy to get basically a free kill. After using it for a longer time, I can tell that it's pretty good at dealing with choke points, but since the normal rocket launcher doesn't really struggle in these situations, I'd consider the charge shot to be very situational. Soldier also has the Bison, which essentially is useless. It has been continually nerfed for some reason. It fires a slow projectile that can hit multiple enemies. It only deals around 20 damage, and its slow speed means that it's commonly listed as one of the worst weapons in the game. Since both use projectiles and don't have normal ammo pools, the Bison pairs pretty horribly with the Cowmangler, as it isn't a reliable fallback for when the Cowmangler is out of charge, something that you really want on Soldier. Moving on to Pyro, who got probably the best known weapon out of all of these, the Flog. If you didn't know, the Flog exchanges Air Blast for a charge meter that fills with dealt fire damage. Once full, alt firing will have the Pyro gain Uber and Taunt. Once the Taunt is over, Pyro gains critical hits for 10 seconds. It's pretty situational because you have to know when to taunt. Taunting too brashly usually ends quickly in your death, but if you pair it with a medic, it becomes very annoying very quickly, as the critical hits almost instantly drain an enemy's health, and the medic outdeals whatever damage they could do. Moving on to Pyro's less notorious weapon, the Man-Melter. It's one of the most underutilized weapons in game. I never see anybody using it. The Man-Melter is a single-shot projectile weapon like the flare gun. Its projectile travels twice as fast as the flare gun and deals 30 damage per shot. It has an alt fire that extinguishes teammates and gives the Man-Melter a guaranteed crit. This makes it pair pretty well with the Flog because it lacks an air blast to extinguish friendlies. You can't farm crits on it though, because it won't count if the player intentionally light themselves on fire. It isn't the best Pyro secondary, but definitely isn't the worst. The 3rd Degree is the same as the normal Fire Axe, but if an enemy is connected to a medic's Medibeam, both the medic and their heal target will be hit. This basically never comes up in game, but does make it a direct upgrade from the Fire Axe. It also looks pretty cool, and it's sad to see it's pretty middle of the road. Engineer has one of the best and worst weapons from this pack, the worst being the Pomson. It fires a weak projectile that is almost impossible to aim. It has a unique mechanic that it can drain Uber Charge and Cloak, but this is never useful because you barely ever hit anyone. I can count on my hand how many kills I have with the Pomson, and that is after trying very hard for probably too long. Unlike the Pomson, the Engineer's other weapon, the Eureka effect, is actually really good. It gives the Engineer the ability to teleport to either his spawn or his teleporter exit. It also halves the cost of building and upgrading teleporters. It does have half the normal boost when hitting a constructing building, and 20% less metal on pickup. The metal penalty really doesn't matter because you can just, in a matter of seconds, teleport to spawn, get a full 200 metal, and be back to the front lines. It allows Engineer to easily set up before games and maintain a nest even in unexpected spots. Like the Cowmangler, it doesn't combo well with its counterpart because the Pomson is just bad. The Dr. Grordbort weapons have a wide range of usability. It has horrible weapons like the Bison or Pomson, but also has great weapons like the Eureka effect or the Flog, which really needs some kind of small nerf. They are very interesting to view in how Valve balances the weapons, or at least tries to. Also, I recorded most of this gameplay footage with my friend Jumpforks, and he's gonna have that up on his channel, so if you're interested in that, it should be on screen. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like the video. If you really like the video, please subscribe. Thank you. Goodbye.